Here in Australia, where I am based, everyone is wondering and struggling at the moment. Things are pretty weird and bordering on anxiety at the moment for many people. There are many reasons for it. There is rampant inflation all around. Cost of living is increasing. The groceries, the usual items to just keep living are really increasing. I have never seen anything like that in Australia for the time being I have lived here. Interest rates are rising from the federal government and from the Reserve Bank of Australia because they want to curb the inflation. But the alarming thing is that despite of interest rate hikes for the last 1 year continuously, inflation is still very high. Property prices are still increasing after dipping down a bit in major cities like Sydney, Melbourne, and other places. Plus, first, it is very hard to find a decent rental property, and if you find it, the rents are skyrocketed and obscene. Now, this all leads to one another looming concern, which is AI job disruption. If you haven't been living under the rock and if you are following the news, the artificial intelligence era is almost here. And as new and novel technologies on the basis of AI are emerging, people are fearing for their jobs. There is a concern around mass unemployment over the globe, and Australia is no exception. So it's a perfect recipe for a perfect storm. So everyone is worried. And it is not just the case with Australia. It is also the case with all the developed world, especially in US, UK, Europe, and now even the developing world is rising up to this concern. So what is the solution here? Is there anything we could do? We can you know, the common sense says that we cannot stop the innovation of AI. Some people are saying it to regulate it, but the thing is, who will regulate the rock states? They will keep building large language model and they will keep disrupting it. And you cannot really stem the tide of innovation. Companies will still keep using the AI tools and in order to increase the productivity and to keep their edge. So what is the solution here? One of the solutions being proposed by various governments around the world and also the researcher is Universal Basic Income or UBI. In United Kingdom, already they have started trialing it. 30 people could be paid around £1,600 a month without any obligation under the proposal for the first trial of a universal basic income in England. They are also seeking financial backing for 2 year pilot program to see how it would change the lives of the groups. So it is still under trial, but things have already started. The concept of a universal basic income sees government pays all individuals a set salary regardless of their means. Now, there are also various critics. They say that it would be extremely costly and it would divert funding away from public services and not necessarily help to alleviate poverty. Now, as I mentioned earlier, rampant inflation and an ongoing cost of living crisis have prompted discussion and speculations about whether a UBI or universal basic income would work in Australia. What is being proposed is that everyone or every adult in Australia should take home about $27,600 every year, excluding some of the childcare and family payments. So if there are two working adults in a family, each one of them would take around $27,600. Again, this is just a proposal. Now, according to a survey conducted by Australian Survey of Social Attitudes, couple of years back, it has widespread support, with 51% of Australians favoring a UBI. But again, as I mentioned earlier, this would be very expensive. For example, Australia's National University's Center of Social Research and Methods, Associate Professor Ben Phillips has said that if we implement this UBI in Australia, it will cost us around 550 billion Australian dollars, which is huge. Well, Australia is a rich country, they can afford it, but no one can afford it on the ongoing basis. And we already have a welfare system here in Australia, and it has a lot of surveillance and, to be honest, very harsh oversight, where people have to go for various job appointments. They have to go through a lot of training programs, which are largely useless because no one is serious about it. Um, I think that they should start thinking about this UBI, because the way things are going, a lot of creative, innovative, white collar jobs are on the stake, and you cannot train the whole nation in few months. So maybe UBI can be used as a stopgap measure for some time, and then as the AI becomes more mature and we are clear about what exactly the new job roles will be, then we could remove the UBI and then make it income dependent. But I think the way things are going, UBI or similar measure has to be taken by the government to keep the economy going. Because if no one is earning, everyone is jobless, then people won't be able to pay their bills, their mortgages, and the economy will stop. So I think this might really be on the cards. I'm very keen to hear your opinion in this regard. So please put them down below. Thank you very much.